Cloud. Good evening. This is the October 21st Transportation Committee meeting for LOCAC. We're going to call this meeting to order at 6:34, and we're going to do a quick roll call. Ted Blockley,
Here.
Seamus,
Here.
Jim Hale,
Here.
Lynette Tornowski,
Here.
uh, Trish Bartel and Jeff Bartel are absent. Tom Cross and Meg Siphon are absent, and David Cheney is absent. So, um, chairperson announcements. I don't really have anything unless you want to come join us at Sea Pines concert Saturday afternoon. We're going to be collecting signatures for the Sunnyside Park or Oktoberfest. We will be there. We'll have a table there, and we'll be collecting signatures for the petition to put the initiative on the ballot for Sunnyside Park. So if you're interested in that, if that's something that you want to support, then you'll find us there. That would be my announcement. How about council member announcements?
So I had something just come up. I mean, this isn't I wouldn't say like it's a surprising thing. I think it's kind of a normal thing, but I think the fact that it is normal is sort of a problem. So we were actually riding our bikes as a family over to Ansell's soccer game maybe 2 weeks ago, and we came to that intersection. We've talked about it before, but the intersection at I'll just look at my map real quick, at Ramona and what is it, 4th, right where the kind of one-way stop on Ramona is, but then 4th and Ramona just go through. And so we stopped at the stop sign and went to make a left onto 4th Street to head down towards, El Moro, which is how we get over to the middle school, and like happens there pretty routinely, right? A car came flying around the corner and, they can't see. We can't see them coming, and they nearly hit Ansel. And it's so, I guess, frustrating that like I sort of feel like this has been a problem intersection for basically forever, and and there's sort of everybody sort of says, well, I don't. Yes, and it remains, and I just don't. It's I want there to be a way to address stuff like this, and to pressure the county. I mean, and yeah, I just kind of raise it because I'd love to hear people's thoughts. And obviously, if people have ideas about the best way to sort of do this, um, you know, I like, I would just love to see movement on some of this stuff that we know is unsafe. And, we'd like to see improve.
So if I can chime in, right before this meeting began, I went on the Public Works website and pointed out two intersections I thought were problematic. 3rd and El Moro and 9th and San Ynez, where four-way stops are needed. And I'd forgotten about 4th and Ramona, but I will mention that one tomorrow again. But I think to your point, and the more critical element here, Deborah, is how do we get the county to move on some of these dangerous intersections, particularly when they're so recalcitrant to address these things.
Yeah. So here's what I know. When you submit a complaint, a comment to Public Works, it kind of goes in a queue, I think. And then at some point, they hand it off to a consulting, a third-party engineering firm, and they come out and do an analysis. I only know this because when they put those stop signs up on Santa Isabel, that's what happened. They had people complaining, and so then this company out of Morro Bay came and did an analysis, and if it doesn't conform to standards, and I'm talking California standards, then they'll say, oh, well, we have to put a stop sign in, or we have to do this, or we have to do that. So that process, I mean, that takes forever because, you kind of get in the queue, if you will. This particular intersection, I've had conversations with Public Works about this intersection, and um, Josh Roberts said to me, well, what are you going to do about, I mean, what can you do? In our safe track report, those engineers said, well, what you should do is straighten out that road. Well, chances of that happening are not very good. But what could happen, what I believe could happen and would actually solve this problem is if they were to put a mini roundabout in that intersection. There's room there to put a mini roundabout. And I'm not talking about building a big mound there. If you've ever driven around San Luis Obispo, you'll find that sometimes in streets where there are lots of traffic on a four-way intersection, they'll just have four posts in the road with a big sign in the middle that says roundabout, and then you just have to go around the obstacle, right? Something that would force people to slow down and allow traffic to travel around the roundabout instead of just crossing in front of one another. Also, if you're on a bike and you're in the middle of that intersection, you're going to have some protection because that roundabout's going to be there. So now that's a possible solution, I think. The question is, how do we get the money so that they will move forward on that? And that's the harder question, right? So, I think what I could do is we have Tyler English now at Public Works. I can pick up the phone and I can call him and he will answer me and he will talk to me and he's very receptive. So if I call him and ask him, I'm going to tell, what happened to uh, Seamus and his family. And I'm going to say, how can we create the momentum that we need to get on the radar here so we can get some funding for this? I don't think this is a tremendously expensive fix.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I would say like, the roundabout sounds great. I mean, I would settle for a stop sign at that turn, but
Ramona.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, even just to sort of, even if it's like moving up in the queue, right? Where we've kind of identified it as a priority, um, that whatever. Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to hear what he had to say.
Well, and
Yes.
I think too, Deborah, that that intersection in Third and El Moro, where you have families trying to access parts of Baywood, whether for the farmer's market or for getting to Baywood Elementary, those are dangerous intersections, and especially for pedestrians and cyclists. And the county needs to we need to find a way to get them to address it because and unfortunately, my thinking is until someone gets injured or killed, they may not address it. And that's what I would not want to see happen.
Right. Ted, do you have a comment?
I have two comments. One is my favorite thing, which is lower the speed limits. And the other is that I think there's room in there, and I don't know all the engineering gyrations that might go into it, but you could make a three-way stop out of that intersection. And
Yeah, the problem is when you're coming on Ramona, you don't have visibility
but you
because the
can
way
come to a
that
stop. I
curve
mean,
is.
it's possible to stop there. You can put a stop sign, stop it coming, and all that. And it's on somebody else to. Oh yeah, we have to stop now.
Okay, well, that's a good suggestion too. And that's probably the easiest of all of them, just to
But
put in a couple of stop signs.
yeah, and the lowering the speed limit thing. Here's the deal: the standards that the county has, the county's own standards for streets say yes, everything in the urban area has to have sidewalks, both sides, and they don't. So therefore, you either tell people no, you can't walk on the street because it's unsafe, or you do something to make it safer, and that would be because we don't have the money to put sidewalks in everywhere. There's just
Mhm.
no money. So
Mhm.
drop the speed limit to the lowest possible setting, which would be 20 miles an hour.
Uh-huh.
Because in most of this, it's all residential, and you can do that without a traffic study. So it's just a matter of changing the signs
Okay.
and
Um,
getting the county to make resolutions saying it's going to be 20.
right.
That may upset a whole lot of people because after all, it's not done that way, but it's done that way in other places.
Yeah.
And I looked up the example. City of Palo Alto, I'm familiar with the place. So Middlefield Road is an arterial,
Hmm.
not just a collector. It's an arterial. It's 25 miles an hour. It handles 10 times the traffic volume that Los Osos Valley Road does. 10 times at 25 miles an hour. It's a 2-lane road.
Ted, do you know offhand? I don't know what the speed limit on Ramona is. Is it 30?
I don't know. I'm guessing it's 25. It should be.
No, I think it's 30.
I
Is
think
it?
it
Does it
is
have a stripe?
30.
Does it have a stripe in the middle?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's one of the reasons they can do it. But it's
Well, it
crazy.
has a stripe in the middle until you get to the curve.
Yeah. Well, and
That's
then
correct.
yeah, yeah. It's all a mess.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the thing that will allow us to get it analyzed by the engineer. I'll talk to Tyler about it and see what he suggests we can do. Um, and one of the things that I had a phone conversation with Jeff Krebs. He's back from his summer. He was going to be here tonight, but he had something else to do. And he said, Deborah, let's make a spreadsheet of all the things that we are concerned about so we can keep track of them. Like, for instance, all of our trail, establishing our trail pathways through Los Osos and this intersection and that intersection, so we can keep tabs on those things and make sure that they are moving forward or they are getting attention. Um, One of the things I can do on this Fourth and Ramona is there's a meeting coming up in November of the Bicycle Advisory Committee. And if I go to that committee, which is in Slow. Tyler English will be there from Public Works, and then also Parks and Rec is there, and then usually SlowCog is there. So I can, go to that meeting and make public comment or maybe even get on the agenda for that. So it just raises the visibility of some of these issues when I can get to some of these other advisory committees. So
Right.
I was going to go to that meeting anyway. I will work on that. But I like this idea, and Jim said he would help me with creating the spreadsheet so we can just have a list of all of our, I don't want to call them projects, but areas of a concern, and we want to keep track of and keep that in people's consciousness as far as, getting some attention. How does that sound?
That sounds awesome. One suggestion I would have is just to maybe color code it or something so we know, right, these are the things we're really focused on, high priority, we want to get addressed right away. These are our mediums, these are our kind of long range, right?
Yeah, great suggestion. Okay, good. All right, great. So we'll do that. We'll have that for next meeting, a spreadsheet that we can, uh, adjust and modify as we go along. And I think will help us keep track of making progress on some of these things. Because we talk about it and then it kind of goes away, but then nothing ever happens. And, honestly, I'm just one person. So, like what's happening with the park, it's like when that draws a lot of my energy and attention away, then I don't have the same amount of ability to move some of these things forward. So, and I don't feel like the county is really focused on us because they kind of did the Los Osos Valley Road corridor study. And then they're like, okay, we're moving on, right? So that's not going to be okay. We need to keep focus on our community and and that's on us. Okay, anything else on that subject? Do we have any public comments for items not on the agenda? We don't really have any public people. So I don't see anybody. So let's just get on with the agenda real quick. Gonna share my screen here. So this is round 2 of the Morro Bay Estuary Climate Resilience Transportation Plan. This has to do with South Bay Boulevard. And if you are interested and have the opportunity to go to this workshop tomorrow night, it's quite fascinating. Uh, this will be a huge project for redoing South Bay Boulevard for climate change. And they have some pretty interesting people involved, consultants and engineers who are putting their work, concentrating their work on how to solve this problem for the future. I went to the first one, was very interesting, and this one is going to be even more interesting. So I just want to put this on your radar. It's at the El Moro Church of the Nazarene. It's tomorrow night from 6 to 7:30. Um, you can RSVP for it, but it says it has a focus on a new bike path and trail improvements, which is pretty exciting. And then there's the website there, sbbclimateplan.org for more information. Any questions about that? Okay, that was easy. Then we have this coming up. Can you see this, the community workshop? Or is it still, are you seeing it?
We see the South Bay Boulevard one.
Okay, wait, let me go back.
Yeah, your screen hasn't changed yet. You have to
I
stop
gotta,
sharing and then
Oh,
go.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay, there it is. Okay. Uh, Um, so this is the uh, local roads first. Have we talked about this? I don't think we have. Okay. So this has to do with a sales tax, a half-cent sales tax that would be collected in San Luis Obispo County that would create money to be used as matching funds for getting money from the state. So what's happening now is Santa Barbara County, Fresno County, Santa Cruz County, there are so many counties that are what they call self-help counties. They collect money, a tax, and then they use that money to go and bid on this grant funding from the state. And the more money you can put up as matching funds, the more money you get back. So it's like 10 to 1. If you put up 10,000, you'll get 100,000. I mean, we're talking billions of dollars in transportation funding from California state. San Luis Obispo County tried to pass this tax a few years ago before I lived here, and they failed by 400 votes. It needs a 2/3 uh, majority to pass. And as a result, they have lost out on a lot of this funding that's available because they can't put up the matching funds that's necessary to get into this lottery, if you will. So they're going to go for it again. They're starting now. It's going to be on the November ballot of 2026. And, you know, it's really critical that this get passed because this is the kind of money that will make a huge, huge difference. At these workshops, they will explain to you how the money will be divided up. And this is really important because it's not just going to go to the cities, it's going to go to all of the county, including Los Osos, and it's based on population. And because we are the seventh largest community within the county, a lot of money will come to Los Osos as a result of this tax. I mean, we're talking significant amounts of money that will make a big difference in the things that we've been talking about. So, this is at the Morro Bay Vets Hall. It's on October 29th from 6 to 7:30. They'll have all the information about it. If you don't want to go or if you can't go, you can go to the website, localroadsfirst.com. It's all there. This is going to be an ongoing public relations initiative because obviously the um, ballot isn't until November of 2026. So they're getting it out there early and they're going to be talking about this a lot. The thing that is, I think, one of the selling points about this is that it, as a sales tax, it's not tax on food. It is a tax that it's not just residents who will pay this, but all the tourists and all the visitors who come to San Luis Obispo County to go to the wineries and go to the beach and go to Montana de Oro and come and visit our lovely community, they're going to pay this tax because they use our roads. They drive on our roads, right? And so they get to participate in helping us maintain our roads and improve our roads. So that's the thought process here. And we'll see if it will. I'm crossing my fingers and hope this passes because if it passes, it will make a big difference for Los Osos because we will have a guaranteed pile of money to that will be dedicated to Los Osos.
Deb, can I ask how long, so if the tax is approved, w- I assume there's like a length, is it just a in perpetuity? We're just gonna have the sales tax, or is there a sunset, or do you know?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know, but it's a good question. But as far as I know, there might be a time limit, but uh, once you have that tax going, I think all the other counties have always continued to vote it in because it's such a significant difference. And you can see if you just drive down the 101 towards Santa Barbara, and you'll be on the 101 in San Luis Obispo County, and then all of a sudden the 101 goes like this. That's because you went into Santa Barbara County, and some of that money is used for major intersections and interstates and things like that. But the most important thing for me, and I've been to a couple of meetings now on this, is that it's not just going to be the cities. It's not just going to be the interstates. Some of that money has to come into the rural areas, the unincorporated areas, and I've made sure that Los Osos will get a significant portion of this money because we have a large population here. And it will be based on population. So, yeah, go to the website. You might find the answer to that question. It's probably on there. And if not, I will go to this. I think I'm going to this. I'm pretty sure it's on my calendar. I'll ask the question when I'm there. Because I do think it sunsets, but it might be like 15 years, something like that. But they'll start collecting the money right away. So that's that. Any questions about that? Okay, so let me stop that. And then the only other thing I have to share with you is something kind of cool. And that is the bridge on South Bay Boulevard. So this bridge has been designed for a long time and they're just now getting the funding. The old bridge is not earthquake proof. Do you know which bridge I'm talking about? So, um, they finally gave out the contract. It's going to Security Paving. The cost of the bridge is $23,525,000. Um, and they're gonna, it's supposed to be finished in December 31st of 2028. So in a couple years. And that new bridge will be off to the side. And then when the new bridge is completed, all the traffic will be routed over there and then they'll take down the old bridge. So there won't be any disruption of traffic or anything like that. So that is a really significant project for us. That bridge, I've seen the design for it. It has a 8-foot shoulder on both sides, and it has a viewing platform on the bay side, 5-foot a viewing platform. So if you're a cyclist or a pedestrian. Now we just have to get the rest of South Bay Boulevard to be bike and pedestrian friendly.
Wait, so is that 8-foot shoulder separated at all or no? So it's not like a class two path, it's a class two path? Is that what that is?
When you say, what do you mean by separated? Like a
I thought they were gonna have
barrier?
a separate, yeah, I thought they were gonna have a separate path for pedestrians and bicyclists.
Okay, so in the climate resilience plan, one of the concepts was to create a causeway, and the traffic would travel on the causeway, and the old road would become a bike and pedestrian path. That is a cool idea, but we're probably talking 20 years for something like that to happen. If you can imagine the cost of a causeway and all of that. So this is the bridge that they're going to build. They're going to start building. And in the design of the bridge, there's a shoulder on both sides. And then on the bay side, there's an additional 5 feet of a viewing platform for people to stop and look out over the bay. That's just part of the bridge design.
Got it.
And then what happens with the rest, however that all comes together.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. But we do have the state pipeline, not the state, but the CSD is putting in that water pipeline to, it's going from Los Osos Valley Road along South Bay Boulevard over to Quintana in Morro Bay to connect to state water. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So I've asked that project already has CEQA and all the environmental stuff that they need. I've asked that project allow for a path, a trail along the way. And I don't know if we're going to be able to do it, but they know that we want to do it and they're willing to help us try to do it if they can. So there might be an opportunity to create trail there that would connect both Los Osos and Morro Bay. And that water pipeline goes right through the bridge. The new bridge has a huge channel in the middle of it to allow for all kinds of utilities to be connected through it. And one of them is going to be the channel for the water pipeline. So, I don't know what it's going to look like yet. I don't think they have the full design of the pipeline project, but wherever that pipeline goes, maybe we'll be able to create a trail. Again, that's one of the projects that we'll put on our list to keep track of, right?
Yeah, and I would guess if it's a pipeline, they're gonna have an easement. The easement will be at least 10 feet wide. That might be enough. They can make a bigger easement to put a trail in for maintenance.
Hey, Ted, that's a good thought. Because they would have to do some sort of maintenance, right?
Yeah, I mean, typically those things exist. I mean, they keep it clear. They may not pave it or whatever, just for that purpose. Get in there and dig it up if they need to.
Yeah.
So if the
Yeah, I don't
pipe's
think it'll
off to
be
one side,
paved.
you have a trail, you can pave it, it's good.
Yeah, I don't know that it will be paved because it's going to be on the east side. Um, but like I said, I don't think they have it designed yet, but they're getting started. They're getting started. So we'll keep, again, this is a good way for us to sort of keep that on the radar and keep track of that and keep reminding them, hey, don't forget, we want to put a trail on here. Oh, yeah, that's right. And so, they just keep, sort of incorporating that into the concept instead of us trying to, after the fact, come in and say, oh, hey, we really wanted to do a trail there.
Hey Deb, this is the CSD, right? That's kind
That's
of
correct.
shepherding this along. Okay.
That's correct. It's the CSD that's doing it. And that's what I've got. Some kind of cool stuff, some stuff that could make a difference. And Jim's gonna help me make that spreadsheet and we're gonna start prioritizing our concerns and issues in a way that we can make sure that things get the attention that they deserve. All right, guys. Thank you. I appreciate you
guys.
showing up tonight. It was good to see you all again, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon.
Thank you, Deborah.
Soon at
Thank you.
some event
Night.
Stay
soon.
safe out there, Seamus.
Yeah.
Make
Thank you.
certain you make some comments on the Public Works website.
I will. Thank you.
All right, take care.
See you guys.
Right.
Thanks.
Good night, everybody.